I was carrying the birthday cake I'd spent 4 hours decorating when my 12-year-old son looked up from his phone and said it, loud enough for every parent and kid at Chuck E. Cheese to hear. "You're a loser, Dad. Mom's new husband isn't. He has a Porsche and you drive a Toyota." I stood there, candles flickering, feeling 20 pairs of eyes turned toward me. I didn't say anything. I just set the cake down, smiled, and sang happy birthday. But what I did 3 days later changed everything. Before we continue, make sure you subscribe to the channel and write in the comments where you're watching this video from. We love knowing how far our stories are reaching. The fluorescent lights of Chuck E. Cheese buzzed overhead that Saturday afternoon, March 15th. I'd remember that date forever. Not because it was Tyler's 12th birthday, because it was the day I realized I'd lost my son without even knowing we were at war. I'd arrived early, reserved the party room, hung streamers in blue and green, Tyler's favorite colors. Or at least they used to be his favorite colors. I wasn't sure anymore. These days, conversations with my son lasted about 30 seconds before he returned to his phone, his room, his other life. The cake sat in my trunk, vanilla with buttercream frosting. I'd watched 3 YouTube tutorials to get the frosting technique right. Spent my morning off from the warehouse making it perfect. Tyler's face in edible ink on top, smiling. A photo from 2 years ago when he still smiled around me. Parents started arriving with their kids around too. Streamers, balloons. The mechanical band played its endless loop. I stood by the party room entrance, greeting people, playing the part. Normal dad. Functioning adult. Not someone whose ex-wife had remarried a cardiologist 6 months ago while I was still driving a forklift and living in a 1-bedroom apartment. Tyler showed up at 2:30, late to his own party. His mother's Range Rover pulled up outside. I watched through the window. Tyler got out from the back seat. Diane from the driver's side. And him, Marcus Wellington. Tall, fit, perfect hair, perfect teeth, perfect everything. Designer polo shirt. Rolex catching the afternoon sun. They didn't come inside. Just Tyler. He walked in wearing clothes I hadn't bought. Expensive sneakers I couldn't afford. A hoodie that probably cost what I made in a week. "Hey, bud. Happy birthday." I reached for a hug. He tolerated it. Stiff. Quick. Then pulled away. "Mom and Marcus have dinner reservations at 7. Don't make this run late." Not "Hi, Dad." Not "Thanks for the party." Just logistics. Timeline. Exit strategy. We've got 2 hours. That's plenty of time for cake and games. I kept my voice light. He looked around the party room. 12 kids from his school. Some I recognized. Most I didn't. Tyler had a whole life I wasn't part of anymore. The party progressed. Kids played games. Ate pizza. I facilitated. Made sure everyone had tokens. Took photos nobody asked for. Watched my son laugh with his friends about things I didn't understand. References to shows I'd never heard of. Inside jokes from a life that didn't include me. Around 3:30, I brought out the cake. 4 hours of work. 12 candles. I lit them carefully, watching each flame catch. Everybody gather around. I called out, "Birthday time." The kids assembled. Tyler stood in the center. I carried the cake toward him, singing. Other parents joined in. "Happy birthday to you." Tyler looked at the cake. His expression shifted. Something like embarrassment crossed his face. That's when he said it. "You're a loser, Dad." His voice cut through the singing. "Mom's new husband isn't. He has a Porsche and you drive a Toyota." The room went silent. The mechanical band seemed louder somehow. Parents stopped mid-song. Kids looked at each other. One mother's mouth actually fell open. I stood there, cake in my hands, candles burning, feeling every eye on me, feeling my face flush, feeling something crack inside my chest. I should have said something, should have corrected him, should have established a boundary right there. But I didn't. I just smiled, set the cake down on the table, and finished singing. "Happy birthday, dear Tyler. Happy birthday to you." Tyler blew out his candles, made a wish, probably wished for a different father, one with a Porsche, one who didn't embarrass him at Chuck E. Cheese with homemade cakes. The party ended quickly after that. Parents made excuses. Kids grabbed goodie bags I'd assembled. Within 20 minutes, the room was empty except for me, Tyler, and a table full of half-eaten pizza. Mom's hair, Tyler said, looking at his phone. I'm leaving. We have 30 minutes left. Want to play some games together? Just you and me. He shook his head, already walking toward the door. Marcus is taking me to the mall. We're getting the new PlayStation. I thought we talked about waiting until your actual birthday next week. I was going to. You were going to what? Get me the used one from GameStop. He turned back. Marcus already ordered it, with a VR headset and 4 games. The door chimed as he walked out. I watched through the window as he climbed into the Range Rover. Diane in the driver's seat. Didn't look at me. Didn't wave. Just pulled away. I stood in the empty party room. Streamers. Balloons. A cake with 1 slice missing. I'd spent $200 I didn't have on a party my son couldn't wait to leave. The Chuck E. Cheese manager appeared. Young kid. Maybe 19. So, we need the room for the next party. Right. Sorry. I'll clean up. We'll handle it. But you need to take your belongings. I gathered the cake. The presents Tyler hadn't opened. The decorations I'd hung. Carried them to my Toyota. The Toyota my son had used as evidence of my failure. I sat in the parking lot for 20 minutes. Engine off. Hands on the steering wheel. Staring at nothing. My phone buzzed. Text from my brother, Kevin. How'd the party go? I didn't know how to answer that. How do you explain that your son publicly called you a loser and you just smiled and sang happy birthday? I drove home. 1-bedroom apartment in Temp. 30 minutes from the house I used to own. The house where Diane still lived. Where Marcus now lived. Where Tyler had his own room with everything he wanted. My apartment had a couch. A TV. A mattress on the floor. My bedroom doubled as an office. I'd been meaning to get proper furniture. Been meaning to do a lot of things. I set the cake on my kitchen counter. Stayed at it. Tyler's face smiling back at me from 2 years ago. Before the divorce. Before Marcus. Before I became a loser. I called Kevin. How was it? He answered. He called me a loser. Silence. Then, what? I told him everything. The comment. The audience. The humiliation. The PlayStation. All of it. Kevin exhaled. What did you say back? Nothing. I didn't say anything. David. I know. But what was I supposed to do? Yell at him in front of everyone. Ruin his birthday. He already ruined it. I sat down on my couch. Diane's poisoning him against me. Ever since she married Marcus, it's been like this. Tyler barely looks at me. Everything I do is wrong. Everything Marcus does is perfect. So what are you going to do about it? That was the question. What was I going to do? I don't know. You need to talk to Diane. Set some boundaries. This can't continue. After we hung up, I sat in the dark. The cake sat on the counter. The presents sat unopened. And I realized something. I'd been so focused on making Tyler happy, on competing with Marcus, on proving I wasn't a loser, that I'd forgotten to be a parent. I'd let him disrespect me because I was afraid of losing him completely. But the truth was, I'd already lost him, and my silence had given permission. That night, I couldn't sleep. I lay on my mattress, staring at the ceiling, replaying the moment. You're a loser, Dad. Over and over. The looks on the other parents' faces. The way Tyler's friends had snickered. The shame. Around 2 a.m., I got up and opened my laptop. Started researching. Parental alienation. Divorce. Children manipulation. Custody modification. Hours of reading. Legal forums. Psychology articles. Stories from other fathers who'd been erased from their children's lives. One phrase kept appearing, document everything. I grabbed a notebook and started writing. Every incident. Every cancelled visit. Every disparaging comment Tyler had made. Dating back months. The pattern was clear. This hadn't started at Chuck E. Cheese. That was just the first time he'd said it publicly. By sunrise, I had 10 pages of notes. And a plan. Monday morning, I called in sick to work. First time in 2 years. I needed this day. I drove to downtown Phoenix. Found the office of Patricia Morgan, family law attorney. Kevin had recommended her. She's tough, he'd said. Doesn't mess around. The office was professional. Modern. Expensive looking. I sat in the waiting room feeling out of place. My work boots. My Walmart jeans. This was Marcus's world, not mine. Mr. Chen. The receptionist smiled. Patricia will see you now. Patricia Morgan was 50-something. Sharp eyes. No-nonsense handshake. She gestured to a chair across from her desk. Tell me what's happening. I told her. Everything. The divorce 2 years ago. Diane's remarriage. Tyler's changing behavior. The escalating disrespect. Chuck E. Cheese. All of it. She listened without interrupting. Made notes. When I finished, she set down her pen. How much time do you have with Tyler currently? Every other weekend. Wednesday dinners. And has Diane interfered with that schedule? I thought about it. She's canceled a lot. Last month, 3 of my 4 weekends got canceled. Different excuses. Tyler's busy. He has plans. Marcus is taking him somewhere. Patricia nodded. That's parental interference. Arizona takes that seriously. She pulled up documents on her computer. Your custody agreement specifies those weekends are yours. She can't unilaterally cancel them. But if Tyler doesn't want to come. Tyler is 12. The court determines custody, not children. Her voice was firm. Now, tell me about the disparaging comments. The loser comment. Has there been more? I pulled out my notebook. Read through the incidents. Tyler telling him Marcus's house was better. Tyler saying I embarrassed him. Tyler refusing to be seen in my car. On and on. Patricia's expression darkened. This is textbook parental alienation. The question is whether we can prove Diane is encouraging it or if she's just failing to correct it. Does it matter? Legally, yes. Proving active alienation is different from proving passive enabling. But both are actionable. She leaned forward. Mr. Chen, I need to be direct with you. This will be expensive. Custody modifications aren't cheap. We're looking at $5,000 to $10,000 minimum. Can you afford that? My warehouse job paid $4,000 to $2,000 a year. After child support, rent, and expenses, I barely scraped by. $5,000 might as well have been $50,000. I'll find a way. She stuttered me. You love your son. Is everything. Then we fight. But you need to understand something. This won't be quick. Family court moves slowly. We're looking at months, maybe longer. And it will get ugly. Diane will fight back. Marcus will probably be involved. Tyler might even be questioned. Are you prepared for that? Was I? Was I prepared to drag my son through court? To make him choose? To potentially damage him more in the attempt to save our relationship? I thought about Saturday. Standing in Chuck E. Cheese. Being called a loser. Watching my son walk away without looking back. I'm prepared. Patricia nodded. Then let's begin. The next 3 days were a blur. I compiled evidence. Screenshots of canceled visits. Text messages from Diane. Receipts showing I'd paid for activities Tyler claimed I never did. Photos of Tyler's room in my apartment. Small but carefully prepared. Evidence that I was trying. Wednesday was my dinner night with Tyler. I picked him up from school at 5:30. He got in the car without greeting me. Earbuds in. Phone out. Hey, bud. Thought we'd go to that burger place you like. He shrugged. We drove in silence. At the restaurant, he sat across from me, barely looking up from his phone. Tyler, can you put the phone down? I want to talk. About what? About Saturday. What you said. He finally looked at me. What about it? You called me a loser in front of everyone. That's not okay. He rolled his eyes. I was just joking. It didn't sound like a joke. It sounded like you meant it. Whatever. You're so sensitive. The waitress arrived. Took our orders. Tyler went back to his phone. Tyler, I need you to listen to me. I know Marcus has money. I know he can buy you things I can't. But that doesn't make me a loser. I work hard. I provide for you. I love you. If you loved me, you wouldn't have left Mom. The words hit like a punch. I didn't leave your mom. We both decided. She told me you wanted the divorce. That you gave up on the family. I closed my eyes. Counted to 5. That's not true. We both agreed we weren't happy. It was mutual. That's not what Mom says. There it was. Diane's poison, delivered through our son's mouth. Tyler, I'm your father. I will always be your father. No matter who your mom marries. No matter what car I drive. That doesn't change. He didn't respond. The food arrived. We ate in silence. I tried making conversation. Asked about school, friends, hobbies. Got one-word answers or silence. I dropped him back at Diane's house at 8. Marcus's Porsche sat in the driveway. A silver 911. Probably cost more than I made in 2 years. Tyler got out without saying goodbye. I watched him walk inside. The door closed. I sat there, staring at that house. My old house. My old life. My phone buzzed. Text from Patricia. I need you to start documenting every interaction. Record if Arizona allows single-party consent. Film when appropriate. Build the case. I looked up single-party consent recording laws. Arizona allowed it. I could record conversations without Tyler knowing. The idea made me sick. Recording my own son to prove his mother was turning him against me. But what choice did I have? Thursday, I bought a small digital recorder. Friday, I installed a dashcam. Saturday morning, Tyler's weekend with me. I picked him up with both running. Hey, bud. Got the whole weekend planned. Thought we'd hit that trampoline park you used to love. Tyler got in the car. I don't want to go to a trampoline park. That's for little kids. Okay, what do you want to do? Go home. Tyler, this is our weekend together. Come on, work with me, hey. Why? So you can force me to pretend we have fun? I'd rather be with Mom and Marcus. They're taking the boat to the lake tomorrow. They know it's my weekend. So? You can't do anything cool anyway. Marcus has a boat. You have a Toyota. There was that word again. Toyota. Like my car was evidence of moral failure. Material things don't make someone a good person, Tyler. No, but they make life more fun. We spent Saturday in my apartment. Tyler on his phone. Me trying to engage. Suggesting activities. Getting rejected. By evening, I was exhausted. Sunday morning, Diane texted. Marcus's mother is in town. We're having family brunch. I need Tyler back by 11. Our agreement said I had him until 6 p.m. Sunday. But I'd learned fighting over every hour just made Tyler resent me more. Okay, I texted back. I dropped Tyler off at 10:45. He got out before I'd fully stopped. Tyler, wait. Can I get a hug? He sighed, came back, gave me the quickest, stiffest hug imaginable, then walked inside. I drove home and listened to the recordings. Hours of my son's contempt. His disrespect. His clear preference for Marcus over me. Evidence for court. Evidence of my failure. Monday, I met with Patricia again. Brought the recordings, the documentation, everything. She listened to Tyler's voice on the recordings. Her expression didn't change, but something in her eyes hardened. This is enough. We file for custody modification. We request a psychological evaluation. We put parental alienation on record. What happens next? We file. The court serves Diane. She gets an attorney. Things escalate. She looked at me seriously. David, once we do this, there's no going back. Diane will know you're fighting. She might restrict access more. She might coach Tyler harder. It could get worse before it gets better. It can't get much worse. Yes, she said quietly. It can. I signed the paperwork. Patricia filed that afternoon. The clock started. 2 days later, Diane called. First time we'd spoken directly in months. What the hell is this? Her voice was ice. Custody modification, parental alienation. Diane, we need to talk about Tyler. There's nothing wrong with Tyler. The problem is you can't accept that I've moved on. That I'm happy. That Tyler is happy. Tyler is not happy. He's confused. He's being taught to disrespect me. He disrespects you because you're pathetic, David. You live in a shitty apartment. You drive a piece of crap car. You can barely afford his birthday presents. What do you expect him to think? I expect him to respect me as his father regardless of my bank account. She laughed. Actually laughed. Good luck with that. Marcus gives him everything. Security, stability, nice things. What do you give him? I give him a father. He already has everything he needs. You're just the guy he has to visit every other weekend out of legal obligation. Accept it, David. You lost. Marcus won. Tyler knows it. I know it. Time you knew it too. She hung up. I sat with the phone in my hand, shaking. Not from fear. From rage. Phew, cold rage. She was wrong. I hadn't lost. The fight had just begun. The court date was set for 6 weeks out. Temporary orders hearing to establish a framework while the larger custody case moved forward. Patricia prepared me. What to expect, how to present, what to say and what not to say. Stay calm. Be factual. Don't badmouth Diane or Marcus. Just present evidence. Let the facts speak. Meanwhile, life continued. Work, bills, lonely nights in my apartment, and every other weekend, picking up a son who resented every second with me. 3 weeks before court, Tyler stopped coming to Wednesday dinners. Diane texted that he was too busy with school activities. I called my attorney. Documented every canceled visit. We're building a pattern. 4 weeks before court, Tyler started refusing my weekend visits altogether. Diane's texts, he doesn't want to come. I can't force him. Patricia's response when I forwarded them. Actually, yes, she can and should. That's her legal obligation. We'll present this to the judge. The night before court, I couldn't sleep. I lay in bed, going over everything. The evidence, the recordings, the documentation, hoping it would be enough. At 4 a.m., I gave up on sleep. Made coffee. Reviewed my notes one more time. My phone buzzed. Text from Kevin. You got this, brother. Truth wins. I wanted to believe that. I really did. The courthouse was downtown, Maricopa County Superior Court. I arrived 30 minutes early, dressed in my only suit. 10 years old, slightly too big now, but clean and pressed. Patricia met me in the hallway. Ready as I'll ever be. Diane arrived with her attorney. Marcus beside her. He wore a suit that probably cost more than my car. Diane looked composed, confident, like she'd already won. We entered the courtroom. Judge Rebecca Morrison presiding. 50s, no-nonsense reputation. Patricia had briefed me. She's fair, doesn't tolerate games. Stick to facts. The bailiff called court to order. We stood. Saturday. The machinery of justice began. Patricia presented first. Laid out the evidence methodically. Canceled visits. Documented disrespect. The recordings of Tyler's contempt. The timeline showing escalating parental alienation. Judge Morrison listened. Made notes. Her expression gave nothing away. Then Diane's attorney stood. James Bradford. Expensive suit. Expensive watch. Marcus's money-buying representation I couldn't afford. He painted me as a bitter ex-husband who couldn't accept his ex-wife's happiness. A father who prioritized his ego over his son's well-being. Someone trying to disrupt a child's stable home life. Your Honor, Tyler is thriving. He's happy. He is a stable two-parent household with resources and opportunities. Mr. Chen lives in a one-bedroom apartment and works a warehouse job. He can't provide the same quality of life. Naturally, Tyler prefers spending time where he's comfortable. That's not parental alienation. That's a child making reasonable choices. I felt my face flush. Patricia squeezed my forearm. Stay calm. Judge Morrison looked at Diane. Ms. Wellington, why have you canceled so many of Mr. Chen's visits? Diane stood. Composed. Perfect. Your Honor, I haven't canceled anything. Tyler has activities. Social commitments. He's 12. He has his own life. When those conflict with visitation, I've tried to work with David, but he's inflexible. The custody agreement specifies those weekends are Mr. Chen's time. Those take priority over social activities. I understand, Your Honor, but I can't physically force Tyler into the car when he doesn't want to go. Have you tried? Diane hesitated. Your Honor, forcing a 12-year-old against his will seem traumatic. I was acting in his best interest. Patricia stood. Your Honor, may I present Exhibit F? The judge nodded. Patricia pulled up a recording. Tyler's voice filled the courtroom. I don't want to go to Dad's. It's boring. Marcus is way cooler. Dad's a loser anyway. Then Diane's voice. I know, sweetie. But it's just for one night. Then you'll be back home. No correction. No defense of me. Just validation of Tyler's contempt. Another recording. Tyler, why do I have to keep seeing Dad? You and Marcus are my real family. Diane, because the court says so. But when you're old enough, you can decide for yourself. Implying I was a burden. An obligation. Something to be endured until he could legally escape. Judge Morrison's expression changed. Hardened. Ms. Wellington, you're aware of your obligation to encourage and facilitate the child's relationship with both parents. Of course, Your Honor. These recordings suggest otherwise. They suggest passive, if not active, alienation. Bradford interjected. Your Honor, these are cherry-picked moments, taken out of context. They are time-stamped and dated. I have dozens more, Patricia said calmly. The judge made notes. Looked up. I want to speak with Tyler. In chambers. Mr. Chen, Ms. Wellington, your attorneys may be present. Court will recess for 30 minutes. My heart pounded. Tyler would be here, would talk to the judge, would possibly say things I didn't want to hear. 30 minutes later, we reconvened. Tyler wasn't visible, but I knew he was in the judge's chambers. 12 years old, being questioned about his parents, about his loyalties, about his feelings. I hated that it had come to this. The wait stretched. 4 to 5 minutes. An hour. Finally, the bailiff called us back. Judge Morrison looked tired. She'd heard something in that room, something that affected her. I've spoken with Tyler extensively. He's bright, articulate, and deeply conflicted. She looked at both of us. He's also been influenced, whether deliberately or through passive enabling. This child has been taught to view his father as inferior, as less than. That's unacceptable. She turned to Diane. Ms. Wellington, you have allowed, if not encouraged, an environment where Mr. Chen is disrespected, where material wealth is equated with worth, where Tyler believes he can refuse court-ordered visitation based on preference. That ends today. Relief flooded through me. Effective immediately, all visitation will be enforced. Ms. Wellington, you will personally ensure Tyler is ready and willing at pickup times. Failure to comply will result in contempt charges. Additionally, I'm ordering family therapy. Tyler will attend sessions with Mr. Chen to rebuild their relationship. And Ms. Wellington, you will attend co-parenting counseling to address your role in this alienation. Bradford stood. Your Honor, we'd like to appeal. You may appeal, but these temporary orders stand during the appeal process. This child needs his father. The evidence is clear that you've interfered with that relationship. No more. The gavel struck. Court adjourned. I sat there, not quite believing it. Patricia smiled. We won. Outside the courtroom, Diane was furious. Marcus tried calming her, but she shook him off. She approached me. You think this changes anything? Tyler still hates you. Making him visit won't change that. Maybe not immediately, but at least he'll have the chance to remember who I actually am, not who you've told him I am. She turned and walked away. Marcus followed. I watched them go. Patricia handed me copies of the order. First therapy session is next Tuesday. Tyler will be there. And David, this is just the beginning. Rebuilding takes time, but you have the legal structure now. Use it. I drove home with the windows down. Late April afternoon. Desert heat already building. But I felt lighter than I had in months. That evening, my phone rang. Unknown number. Dad. Tyler's voice. Small. Uncertain. Tyler. Hey, bud. Mom says I have to go to therapy with you. That's right. Tuesday at 4. Silence. Are you mad at me? For what I said at Chuck E. Cheese? I closed my eyes. I'm not mad. Tyler. I'm hurt. But I'm not mad. Mom says you're trying to take me away from her. That's not true. I'm trying to be your dad. That's all. I miss you. His voice cracked slightly. I miss you too. Sometimes. Then let's fix this. Together. Will you try? I guess. That's all I ask. We talked for 5 more minutes. Surface stuff. School. Friends. But it was something. More than we'd had in months. After we hung up, I sat on my couch and cried. Relief. Exhaustion. Hope. All of it. The battle wasn't over. Not by a long shot. But I'd won the first fight. Tyler would be at therapy. Would have to engage. Would have to remember that I was his father, not just the loser with the Toyota. Tuesday came. I arrived at Dr. Sarah Martinez's office at 3:45. Nervous. Tyler arrived with Diane at 3:55. She stayed in the waiting room. Tyler and I went in. Dr. Martinez was mid-40s. Warm smile. Kind eyes. She specialized in adolescent family therapy. Tyler, David, welcome. Let's talk about how we got here. The first session was awkward. Tyler barely spoke, sat with arms crossed. Dr. Martinez didn't push, just established ground rules. This was a safe space. No judgment. Honesty was required. The second session, Tyler opened up slightly. Talked about feeling caught in the middle. About not understanding why his parents split. About feeling like he had to choose. The third session, Dr. Martinez asked Tyler directly, "Why do you think your dad is a loser?" Tyler shifted uncomfortably. "I don't know. That's what everyone says." "Who's everyone?" "Mom. Marcus. They don't say it like that. But they say Dad doesn't have money. That he can't do things. That we have to adjust expectations when I'm with him. And money makes someone successful. Doesn't it?" Dr. Martinez turned to me. "David, what do you think?" I looked at my son. Really looked at him. 12 years old. Caught between two worlds. Trying to make sense of adult failures. "Tyler, I'm going to tell you something. I don't have a lot of money. I probably never will. I work hard. I pay my bills. I pay child support. I make sure you have what you need when you're with me. But I can't buy you a PlayStation whenever you want one. I can't take you on the boat every weekend. I can't compete with Marcus financially. And I'm done trying." Tyler looked up, surprised. "But here's what I can give you. Honesty, respect, time, attention, love. Things that don't cost money but are worth more than any car or boat or game console. I can teach you to be a good man. Not a rich man. A good one. Someone who values people over things. Who works hard. Who keeps his word. That's what I'm offering." Tears formed in Tyler's eyes. But everyone thinks money is important. Some people do. But those people are measuring the wrong things. Dr. Martinez nodded. "Tyler, your dad is giving you something Marcus can't buy. Is giving you a choice. You can value people for their bank accounts, or you can value them for their character. That's a choice you'll make every day for the rest of your life." That session ended differently. Tyler was quiet, but thoughtful. Not angry, thoughtful. Over the next 6 weeks, sessions continued. Slowly, gradually, things shifted. Tyler started engaging, started asking questions, started remembering the father I'd been before the divorce, before Marcus, before the money became everything. One Saturday in June, we went hiking. Just the two of us. No phones. No distractions. "Dad." "Yeah, bud." "I'm sorry for what I said at Chuck E. Cheese and all the other times. I stopped walking. I appreciate that. I didn't really think you were a loser. Mom and Marcus just made it seem like you weren't trying hard enough. Like you could have more if you wanted. Life's more complicated than that, Tyler. But I understand why you thought that." We sat on a rock overlooking the valley. Phoenix spread out below us. "Marcus isn't a bad guy," Tyler said. "But he's not my dad." "No, he's not." "Do you hate him?" I thought about that. Did I hate Marcus? The man who'd replaced me in my own home? Who'd bought my son's affection with toys and trips? No, I don't hate him. I'm jealous sometimes. But hate? That takes too much energy. Energy I'd rather spend on you. Tyler leaned against me. "First time in over a year. Can I tell you something?" "Anything." "His house is nice. But I miss our old house. The one before. When we were all together." "Me too, bud. Me too." We hiked back down as the sun set. Talk about school. His friends. Normal things. Father-son things. When I dropped him off that evening, Diane met us at the door. "Is late." By 15 minutes. We were talking. She started to argue, then saw Tyler's face. Relaxed. Happy. Something shifted in her expression. "Fine. Next time, text me." Progress. Small, but progress. The months passed. Therapy continued. Tyler's attitude slowly changed. Not overnight. Not magically. But incrementally, consistently, he started seeing me again. Not as the loser. Not as the obligation. As his dad. In September, his 13th birthday arrived. I couldn't afford a big party. Couldn't compete with whatever Marcus would buy. But I did what I could. I took him camping. Just us. 2 days in the mountains. No electricity. No Wi-Fi. Just father and son. We hiked. Fished. Cooked over a campfire. talked about life, about his future, about what mattered. The second night, sitting by the fire, Tyler said, "This is the best birthday I've ever had." Really? Better than the boat. Better than the PlayStation. Way better. Because it's just us. I didn't say anything. Just put my arm around him. Dad. Yeah. I'm glad you fought for me. I caught and stuff. I was mad at first. But I get it now. You were fighting for us. I'll always fight for you. Tyler. Always. We sat there, watching the fire, and for the first time in 2 years, I felt like a father again. Not a loser. Not a competitor. A father. The custody case continued through the fall. More hearings. More evidence. But the initial ruling had set the tone. Diane's interference was documented. The alienation was acknowledged. The court supported rebuilding. In November, Judge Morrison issued her final ruling. Joint custody maintained, but with protections. Mandatory therapy. Enforceable visitation. Penalties for interference. And a clear statement in the record that both parents' worth wasn't measured by wealth but by their commitment to their child. I'd spent nearly $15,000 on legal fees. Money I didn't have. Money I borrowed from Kevin, from credit cards, from everywhere I could. But I'd won something more valuable. I'd won my son back. Not completely. Not perfectly. Diane still made comments. Marcus still bought things I couldn't. But Tyler knew now. Knew that wealth wasn't worth. Knew that the Toyota-driving father who worked in a warehouse loved him more than any Porsche-driving stepfather could buy. Christmas morning, Tyler called me. "Merry Christmas, Dad." "Merry Christmas, Bud. You at your mom's?" "Yeah, opening presents. But I wanted to call you first." My throat tightened. "That means a lot. Dad, I know I said you were a loser. I know I was a jerk. But you're not. You're actually pretty great." I wiped my eyes. "Thanks, Tyler. I love you." "Love you too." After we hung up, I sat in my one-bedroom apartment. Alone, but not lonely. Not anymore. I thought about that day at Chuck E. Cheese. Standing there with the cake. Being called a loser in front of everyone. Not saying anything. I should have said something. Should have established a boundary. But maybe my silence was its own kind of statement. Maybe it said, "I love you too much to engage in a public fight. I value you too much to respond to cruelty with cruelty." And in the end, my silence led to action. To court. To therapy. To rebuilding. I'd lost the battle at Chuck E. Cheese. But I'd won the war. 3 years later, Tyler is 15 now. He splits time equally between houses. Still goes to therapy with me monthly. Still deals with the complications of divorced parents. But he calls me regularly. Asks my advice. Comes to me with problems. Not because I can buy solutions. Because I can listen. Because I care. Last month, he asked if he could live with me full-time. I said no. He was shocked. "Why? I thought you wanted that." "I want what's best for you. And having a relationship with both your parents is best. Even when it's hard. Even when it's complicated. You need your mom. You need me. You need both." He thought about that. "You're probably right." "I usually am." I smiled. "That's debatable." We laughed. Normal father-son banter. The kind I thought I'd lost forever. This past weekend, we went car shopping. Tyler's getting his learner's permit soon. He wants to start saving for a car. "What are you thinking?" I asked. "Something practical." He grinned. "Actually, I was thinking a used Toyota. They are reliable. Good gas mileage. And honestly, they are not bad cars." I looked at my son, 15 years old, standing in a used car lot, choosing a Toyota. "You sure? Marcus would probably help you get something nicer." "I don't want nice. I want reliable. Like my dad." We bought a 2018 Camry. 11,000 miles. One owner. Perfect condition. Tyler drove it home with his permit. Me in the passenger seat, hands gripping the door handle. "Relax, Dad. I got this." "I know you do, Bud. I know you do." That evening, I thought about the journey. The pain. The court battles. The therapy. The slow, agonizing rebuilding of trust. Was it worth it? I looked at Tyler washing his new car in my apartment parking lot. Smiling. Happy. Whole. Yeah, it was worth every second. People ask me if I regret not responding at Chuck E. Cheese. If I wish I'd defended myself, put Tyler in his place, made a scene. I tell them no. Sometimes the strongest response is no response. Sometimes love means taking the hit, absorbing the pain, and then, quietly, doing the work to fix what's broken. I didn't say anything that day, but I said everything that mattered in the days and months that followed. I said, "You're worth fighting for." I said, "I love you too much to give up." I said, "I'm your father, and nothing will change that." Tyler heard those things. Eventually, and that's what mattered. Today, I still drive a Toyota, still work at the warehouse, still live in a one-bedroom apartment. But I'm not a loser. I'm a father, a present, engaged, fighting father. And my son knows it. That's the only victory that matters. If you like this story, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share your thoughts in the comments. Where are you watching from? How far has this message reached? Click the video on your left for another powerful story. Thank you for watching. And remember, your worth isn't measured by your wallet, but by your willingness to fight for what matters most. If this story resonated with you, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share your experiences in the comments. Let us know where you're watching from. These stories matter. Your support helps them reach parents who need to know they're not alone in this fight. Thank you for watching.